I need to know, as a guy who grew up idolizing so many Russian hockey players, I had a poster of Pavel Bure on my wall. Guy had back-to-back 59-goal seasons in the death NHL, not this NHL, the trap, two-line pass, 5 overtimes, 0-0 games, 1-0 in the conference finals, that NHL. Those 59 goals in back-to-back years are way more impressive than Austin Matthews' 69. I watched, I remembered, I saw how easy it was to score. You can jet ski through the neutral zone and hook people, and you couldn't have a breakout pass for a breakaway because it would be whistled for a two-line pass. So I love that guy. I also have always said that Pavel Datsyuk, not Ovechkin, not Crosby, was the best player in the NHL from the mid-2000s straight through to about 2012, and then Crosby took over, and then eventually McDavid. He was. I don't want to hear it. When you combine most valuable assets, he could score 100 points, which he did. He was the best defensive player, winning Selkies, kind of like Barkov. Best power play guy, best penalty kill guy, amazing at shootouts. He could do literally everything. His first year in the league, he won a Stanley Cup. The Detroit Red Wings, you know this, Stevie Bongrips, made the playoffs every single year of his career. He retired, and Detroit, unfortunately, Stevie Bongrips, has not been back to the playoffs since. So, huge Russian advocate. McGillney, 76 goals, rookie year, so many of them. So I need to know what I did to Val Nichushkin to have him screw me in back-to-back years. Obviously, I opened up the show about a week and a half ago saying I was unbelievably impressed with the Avalanche because unlike last year, they now had multiple lines who could come at you, and Val Nichushkin was their leading goal scorer. And once again, for the second straight year, before a pivotal playoff game, he's now gone until November. He's in the player assistance program, failed the drug test, and I don't know about like those John Jones drug tests. I find it a little suspicious that they keep happening before important games in the playoffs. I don't know. But 2 straight years, and that's going to be it. That's going to be it for the Avs. They looked exactly like the team who lost to the Kraken, relying on the McKinnon line and then getting very little outside of that. And they're not playing the Kraken this time. They're playing a team who's rolling 4 lines and getting production from everybody. So what I kind of suggested before the game last night, and the odds are not going to be as good anymore because the Avalanche obviously lost. But what I think, and this will lead us into our first game of the day, I think that you should take the Dallas Stars, and I mentioned this in the Game 7 before they played the Golden Knights. Dallas Stars over the Edmonton Oilers, like the exacta conference final matchup. You can find that on Fanduel. Now, it was plus 425 before Game 4 versus Colorado. That's obviously going to be worse, but the reason we're even getting a semi-decent price is because Edmonton's trailing this Vancouver series 2-1. So you're going to have to get this in before the Game 4 to get a half-decent price. And the reason I think you have to get that in before the game, because, yes, I think the Edmonton Oilers are going to find a way to win this game. I mean, they've been outplaying Vancouver in the majority of these games. Vancouver gets the lead and then just tries to hold on for dear life. Vancouver, I got to give you credit. I'm going to give you good news, bad news. Let me start with the bad news. You guys really got one hell of a scam run going on. And listen, I know what scam runs are about. Islanders went to back-to-back conference finals a few years back. We got to play Washington and then Philly. We avoided Boston and Tampa every time. We weaseled our way to the conference finals back-to-back years. I know what a weasel route looks like, but the fact they got outplayed by Nashville, now they're still being outplayed by Edmonton, and they find themselves up 2-1. And if they win this series, it's legitimately going to be funny. But I do have bad news as to what happened to those Islanders in the conference finals, although they did get to a Game 7 and lost by 1 goal. And that brings me to the positive news, the good news. Many times, I've seen teams grow into a better version of themselves in the playoffs. Like you're seeing Brock Besser find that early season form. Many times, teams look pretty bad at the beginning. Like I've mentioned when the Rangers 2 years ago, how awful they looked against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And then they started to gel, and it all came together in the back half of that Carolina series. So it is possible that we haven't seen the best from Vancouver yet, but I still like my chances taking Edmonton in this game, but we're getting a disgusting price. And I know this is why I tell you not to go to the pizzeria. I know you still just need to go to the pizzeria because he won't let you say another word. You're basically allowed to say a team name, and then he closes the oven, and that's it.
I got dough, cheese, and sauce.
But why would I take the Oilers at -205 when I simply see a line, a mega top line that's dominating when they're on the ice, both at even strength and on the power play? And why wouldn't I take the over 1.5 points on those superstars? Any superstar who's not listed at a bad price. Now, who's listed at a bad price? Connor McDavid. He's like -170. How about Leon Draisaitl? Well, I'm seeing him at +105. So you give me Draisaitl at +105 in a game that they're heavily favored against the Vancouver Canucks. He's been producing all series. If you look at him and McDavid's minutes, they're through the roof, borderline unsustainable, ridiculous ice time. Then yeah, I think that's better than the pizzeria -205, although I do think that the Edmonton Oilers are going to win. What about the third member of that line? Many times they list Zach Hyman at half of a point, and then you're stuck at that awful position where, like, I put this guy in the same game parlay, it's not even budging the odds if I add him to Draisaitl. But not when they got him listed at over 1.5. I'm going to take the over 1.5 points for Zach Hyman. I don't care if he scores those vacuum cleaner goals right in front of the net where he's just vacuuming back and forth. You see him try to get that last one at the end of the line. It was over the line. He just smacked it right in. They didn't give him that one, but I think maybe he'll find one here. And then in the later game, we got, or I guess that is the later game, but in the earlier game, we got the Bruins and the Panthers. And I know, you're going right into the pizzeria. You're just going, yeah, give me the Oilers, give me the Panthers. I'll see you tomorrow.
You got no cash?
Sam Bennett really is like a mega villain. Brad Marchand, who's considered a villain by many franchises. You can ask the people in Toronto. He was a pure villain. He was the Rat. Well, Sam Bennett is like Super Shredder. It's like Shredder on roids. He took out the villain from the series. Then he shoves DeBrusk into the goalie, which it should have been. I mean, the goal should have been disallowed. The goal remains. So then they go up 3-2. Instead of it being pulled off the board, they win that game, and it sent this whole series into a tailspin. And now they go back to Florida to try to close it out against the Bruins. He's a super villain. The first thing I'll talk about is without Marchand, we already know the weakness of this Bruins team was their lack of offensive depth. They lost all those players last offseason, and they've built a team game. But when you remove Marchand from the line, because they tried to do one line with Pasternak, one line with Marchand, and then make do from there. But without that, now they are just trying to mix and match. They got Zacha on line 3. I imagine it's going to be tough to generate offensive chances. And I'm going to take the under 2.5 on their team total for the Boston Bruins. Marchand traveled, but I think the early indications were that he's going to miss a couple of games. We'll see if he plays. But obviously, Florida's playing with confidence. Bobrovsky's playing pretty well. Although Boston was able to score a couple of early goals in the last game, they shut the door on him towards the end. Now I'm going to go back to that, the under 2.5 goals for the Boston Bruins. And I really think, because we're getting towards the back half of the series, you guys remember how the back half of those series went last round. It was all unders. If you bet anything that started with over, you most likely lost. It was clenched cheek territory. Elimination games tend to be clenched cheek territory. You even want to look at last night, that Rangers game. That's a game 5, right? It was 1-0 heading into the third period. There was an under. The Avalanche game, that one stayed under. In these clenched cheek games, I don't foresee them getting many points. I do say that Zacha, if he's down there in line 3 again, just floating by himself, I want to take the under on his half a point, and using a little odd shopper premium area 51 bunker analytics there, I saw he's listed at a way fairer price on BetRivers, so I'm going to sneak that in there. And although I don't think it's smart to take a ton of player props Barkov has been incredible in this series. I would imagine that continues. And I know I have ridiculed Vlad Tarasenko, but I said we had to get off of him because he got moved back up to that top line. And guess what? You get that top line, you play with the best player. That's trickle-down snakeonomics. Vlad Tarasenko's point prop, it's like plus 120, and he's playing with Barkov and Reinhart, and by golly, I'm tempted to take it. There are 3 Florida Panthers, 3 plus money player props. If 2 hit, you should be feeling good, but these are great values. One's Tarasenko, top line, second power play. The other is Sam Bennett, second line, second power play, but he plays with Verhaeghe and Kachuk at 5-on-5. And then the third is Brandon Montour, who's running the top of that power play and is very involved in the offense. And it's plus money on all 3 of those guys. I kind of like my chances of 2 of those 3 hitting. So give me those 3. I would not put them together. I would not put those guys together because, like, if this was Reinhart, Barkov, and Montour, then sure, fine, because you could knock that out all in one goal. But those 3 guys, the 3 good values at plus money, either choose one, do them all separately, or, I don't know, combine each with something else from a different, I don't know. But those 3 are good values. I will tell you that. That is what I have for you here on a Tuesday. Good luck to you. Sincerely. I want there to be good luck to you. I mean, come on. You know the rankings. Good luck to you. Better luck to me. And then if you can leave decoy comments. It could really just say, this is a comment. It means nothing. And that's the end of this. You can put anything that helps this juice the algorithm. Click the notifications. Apparently that helps. Or somebody lied to me. I don't know. Just do the things that you think will help these videos get seen by more people. And as always, you can join the Patreon, become a minority owner of this show. And we're only a couple weeks away now. Josh is going to start posting his daily MLB picks there at the beginning of June. The first Monday in June, we're going to start that weekly show called I Hate Baseball, where I hate baseball and Josh tries to give me some bets to make me enjoy it once again, because I used to love it when I was young, but like most people, it didn't keep up with the times. You need a lot more than that pitch clock to keep me going. My pitch clock is running out. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take it easy.